I'm Adam, and this is the Pipebomb. So, last time we started talking about Vince McMahon, the visionary lunatic and his penchant for pushing people into pools. We looked at Vince's youth and his thirst for physical and financial dominance, how he bullied his competition aside. Now, continuing our quest to understand why Vinnie Mackers is the way he is, we're looking at the biggest criticism that wrestling fans throw at him. Not that he's a skeezy old man who kissed all his female employees like this, not that he oversaw decades of substance abuse and at best didn't step in and at worst put a system of drug accessibility in place, not that he still wears sleeveless referee shirts like this. No, it's that he's out of touch. And it's not an argument without merit. In the last few years, in the face of things like independent wrestling's rise in prominence, a new golden era of Japanese wrestling, NXT becoming a juggernaut, his audience losing casual fans while his hardcore crowd grow louder than ever before, in the face of all those things, there's a cycle of creative going back to the well of tropes that worked in the past and only seem to have worked in the past. Giants like Big Show and Kane having a run of really slow, granddad dominance, slightly out of shape guys with interesting, weird gimmicks like Bo Dallas never really getting off the ground. Also, he doesn't get Enzo and Cass. A reliance on celebrity endorsements, especially played out ones like Jerry Springer, the program being dominated by the McMahons infighting, and of course the poster child Roman Reigns, the man that Vince insists we have like a party host who doesn't realize you've had enough cake. You liked the cake the last time I made it, and the time before that, and the time before that, so you must love my cake. In goes the cake. So why does Vince always know he's right? Well, Ted Turner has a lot to do with that. In the mid-80s, Vince had pretty much every national wrestling TV slot under his belt. Well, all of them except one. In 1984, World Championship Wrestling, it wasn't the promotion that everyone knew in the 90s, it was simply the name of a TV show produced by Georgia Championship Wrestling, a Southern wrestling style promotion. See, Vince doesn't do Southern wrestling. Bit odd for a Carolina boy, but there you go. In 1984, Vince wanted that World Championship Wrestling time slot. He appealed to the owner of the channel, who categorically refused. The channel was SuperStation TBS. The owner was Ted Turner, and Turner sort of like Vince's nemesis. See, he got a massive head start in his industry thanks to the success of his father, like Vince, took his dad's business and turned it global, like Vince, but Ted was privately educated and inherited his father's business, while Vince was running moonshine, getting into fights with Marines, and eventually had to buy his father's share in the business. With this combination of similarities and differences, it seems the two men were destined to hate each other. So Vince offered to buy WCW slot, and Ted told him no, right in the middle of Vince's quest for national dominance. See, Vince McMahon doesn't accept no, which is a trait you can see when he tries to seduce women. Oh God, he's the worst kisser in the world. Stop it. Stop it. So yeah, don't say no to Vince. Fun fact, when Vince was studying business at East Carolina, he needed a 2-point average to graduate, and by his own admission, he had to visit a few of his professors personally and convince them to upgrade his marks to an A. He wouldn't take no for an answer, and I guess you need to rely on that if you're only a B+ player. Aw, snap. So when Vince got told no by Ted, ruthless aggressor that he was, he simply went another way and bought a controlling stake in Georgia Championship Wrestling itself, and just like that, backdoored his way into control of the TV show. Billionaire Ted was furious, and as it turns out, so were the fans who tuned in to see Vince f***ing McMahon on their wrestling show. They wholesale rejected the Northeast wrestling Vince aired in place of what they were used to, complaining in droves. Not only that, but Ted Turner commissioned 2 new wrestling shows on his TBS station to drown Vince out in the ratings. Scorned and spurned, Vince sold his stake in Georgia Championship Wrestling and retreated. And then Vince McMahon and Ted Turner never encountered each other again. Oh wait, hang on, the Monday Night Wars. Yeah, one of the greatest feuds in wrestling history turned the heat all the way the f*** up when Turner bought an amalgamation of territories owned by Jim Crockett Promotions. He named it World Championship Wrestling because billionaire Ted never forgets. The Monday Night Wars is a bunch of episodes in itself, but this is all you need to know. Ted Turner put WCW Monday Nitro in direct competition with WWF's Monday Night Raw. That is a statement, and that statement is, this is a fight to the f***ing death. How do you not take that incredibly personally when your company is on the line, when your lives are on the line, when you could go bankrupt, when you are explicitly targeted for destruction, wrestling targeting sports entertainment? Now, WCW would crumble because of a constant cycle of management, whereas WWF was all about Vince, and though they were taken to the limit, they won. Vince won. Sports entertainment won. And if you think that victory hasn't stayed with Vince McMahon, etched into a cliff face 20 miles high, the words, "F*** you, Ted, I was right, then you don't know Big Vin. Because how could you not know that you're right all the time? You take your father's regional company, take it national, take it global, and put your competition out of business. How do you not become forever bulletproof knowing you can do anything, book anything, and kiss anything you wanted? And what actual consequences are there to convince him that he's ever been wrong? There's no competition to come after him anymore or offer misused talent more money. Ring of Honor, New Japan, they don't really eat into WWE's market dominance. TNA. Declining ratings. Sure, nowhere near as many people are watching it as they used to be, but Monday Night Raw is still one of the most successful cable shows on TV right now. The third hour of Raw is raking in ad revenue, and the USA Network are constantly issuing press releases stating how happy they are with WWE. Maybe fan outrage is a consequence? Well, first of all, the people who are the most outraged are the most hardcore fans. Vince knows we're not going anywhere, and you remember what Vince said about people dissatisfied with their environment? Vince has no time for complainers. He will prove he's right long term, just like he did to the people who complained when he took over the WCW TV show in 1984. So far, and it pains hardcore fans to admit this, all of Vince's strategies have, long term, been working. Network subscriptions are up, biggest WrestleMania of all time, profits increasing from last year. The internet are calling me out of touch, are they, says Vince. That's cute, I can't hear them through all this money in my ears. Now put some more NXT tickets on sale. And then there's the sadistic side of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, the side that, I'm going to hazard a guess, enjoys slapping the WWE universe around. On the Stone Cold podcast, Vince described what he enjoys most about pushing people into pools. It's the look on someone's face as you shove them and they're in the air. It's the funniest thing in the world. First of all, that makes Dr. Heine, Heidenreich sexually assaulting Michael Cole, and the phenomenon that was Hornswoggle all make sense. They're all pranks. Vince takes a cruel, perverse pleasure from displeasing the fans, seeing the looks on their faces as he leads them one way, then another, assuming he cares about the vocal fans at all. He's ruthlessly ambitious, with a fearless business savvy and a constant need to assert dominance, and if you're shocked and outraged by that, then it's all the more amusing to him. So, big question, is Vince out of touch? Well, he's certainly out of sync with what a lot of hardcore wrestling fans want, so yes, I guess, but he sort of earned that right. He's a lunatic visionary who's a bit of a paradox. He had no respect for the way wrestling was supposed to be, and yet gave the industry a gigantic boom in the 80s. He's masterminded some of our favorite memories and gives everything he has to the business, his way. He pulled himself up from a rough childhood, he won. He faced down Ted Turner, he won. The fans call for his removal and profits are up, he won. And if you don't like it, find a way to make it unprofitable, I guess, because otherwise, you're going in the pool. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com. That has been Vince McMahon, and this is the Pipe Bomb.